Now we know that the companies are divided into three types, that is, one is limited by guarantee, limited by shares, and unlimited liability. So when you go for registration, but what is the clause again? I'll tell you that they don't need to go to any of the company's house for registration, provided now these are the important one, that is how it can be converted. However you go for a re-registration, you are supposed to follow the same methodology of registering a fresh company. Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. I'm Abhilash Chandra from the Department of Commerce and Management in Vidyashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence. Welcome to all the students here. Now we are in the fifth session of this chapter. Now here I have brought you a very interesting topic that is all about how the companies are and what exactly the companies are being classified as. So we'll go with the first one, that is a limited by guaranteed company. Now we know that the companies are divided into three types, that is, one is limited by guarantee, limited by shares, and unlimited liability. So the first one here we goes with is the limited by guarantee. What exactly it is? To start with limited by guarantee, I always go with this quote saying that there are people who really want to contribute something for the society. Now these are the people whom we call them as philanthropists. Now here you need to understand that this is a form of a company where you don't get profit, so it is like non-profit. Now when I say non-profit, then why exactly people work there? Now it depends on the person's perception of why he is working. Now here any profit whichever the company is doing it, they don't give it to the shareholders, rather they actually take that and put it to the business to grow. So again they'll invest on the business. Here I'll tell you there are a lot of examples which I can give you, like you have a list of limited by guarantees, just like you have Dr. Reddy's. Now Dr. Reddy's, a company which is again a private company, but it is what? Limited by guarantee. So here when we go with it, a company limited by guarantee is often referred to as a not for profit or charitable company. See here, not for profit, but again it is also what? Charitable company. This refers to the fact that the parties involved do not remove the profit. So they don't remove the profit or separate the profit from the companies as shareholders can in a company limited by shares. Now when you go with company limited by shares, they actually remove the profit and they keep it to the shareholders. Any profit made by the company is reused. Please understand the word. The company, whenever they make any profit, they will actually reuse it. Now when they reuse it, what exactly they reuse? They reuse for good of the business. So this is what limited by guarantee company is all about. I'll repeat here, limited by guarantee companies are those companies which will not separate or remove the shares or the profits to the shareholders. They actually, what they do is they reuse the money and they do it for what? For the good of the business only. So I gave you an example of Dr. Reddy's. Now you have n number of companies which are listed under limited by guarantees. Now a company limited by guarantee has a very similar structure to a company limited by shares, as they have directors appointed to manage the day-to-day running of the company. Now apart from this, there is a lot of difference between a company limited by shares and a company limited by guarantee. There is one more called as unlimited liability company. Now simple fact, unlimited liability companies, they are the companies which will not go for registration. And here what is the advantage, what is the disadvantage, I'll tell you in the next sessions coming, and you are supposed to understand each and every kinds of the companies which we have, the types of company which we have, and the way they operate. Next one is limited by guarantee company. In that there are two more features which are very similar to the limited by shares, that is you can appoint a secretary. Right, you can appoint a secretary. Now when we went with the directors, you can actually have directors. In the meanwhile, you can have company secretary. So a company secretary can also be appointed if required. Now I have given you a slab. Which of the companies can actually hire a secretary, on what basis? Is it mandatory? It is not mandatory. If it is mandatory, then what is the provision for this? All I have already given you in the previous sessions. Next is the liability of the members is still limited in the same way it is limited for shareholders. However, it is not capped to the value of shares, as the guarantee company does not issue shares. Please understand, the guarantee companies will not issue shares. So this is what it happens in the limited by guarantee it is. So you have understood, we can actually have directors the way the limited shares are, and here what exactly happens here is we can also appoint company secretary again if required. If the slab rate goes on, if it is mandatory, you are supposed to appoint a secretary. Then coming to here is the liability of members is still limited in the same way. The reason why it is limited, it is a private company or a public company, right? In the same way it is limited for shareholders, however it is not capped to the value of the shares, as a guarantee company does not issue shares. So this is the highlight point, that guaranteed company will not issue shares. Limited by guarantee and their conversion. Now how can you convert or go for a conversion of a limited by guarantee company? Now I'll give you few of the examples when we go with the limited by guarantee and their conversion. So the first point here is, an unlimited company is a registered company which has no limited liability. So when you go for registration, but what is the clause again? I'll tell you that they don't need to go to any of the company's house for registration. It is registered to company's house like any other company, having articles of association, directors, members, etc. But if the company cannot pay its debts, the shareholders are liable to contribute. So who are liable to contribute? The shareholders are liable to contribute to the company's asset without limits, so that the company can pay all its debts. The minute the unlimited liability, now we are converting unlimited liability to a company which is limited, and that too by guarantees. Such companies are not widely used. They have major only one advantages, that is over ordinary limited companies. An unlimited company, please understand this is a very important topic, that is an unlimited company is not required to register its accounts at company's house. This is the only advantage they have, but I'll tell you more of advantages. You have a lot of disadvantages if you don't register your company, or you have registered your company has unlimited liability. An unlimited company can be converted to private company limited by guarantee, provided, now these are the important one, that is how it can be converted. So which of the company can be converted? That is unlimited companies, they can get converted into a private limited by guarantee company. The provided are, these are the followings. Now the first one here is, the shareholders pass a special resolution. Who will actually pass? The shareholder of the unlimited liability company, they will pass a resolution approving the conversion. So when they pass a resolution, now what happens? The registrar of companies will get to know about it. It adopts new articles. Suitable for a company limited by guarantee. The necessary documents or forms are sent to the company's house for registration. Now what happens is, whatever and however you are supposed to register for a limited by guarantee company, those articles should be drafted in your resolution and you are supposed to accept those. Now memorandum of association and article of association will be modified. The registration fee is paid to company's house if the company is to be registered with a different name. Now if there is a clause saying that you are supposed to go for a different name, earlier what used to happen was, instead of unlimited liability, now you went with limited liability. So you are supposed to change the name itself, that is a different name. Apart from removing the word limited at the end of the name, the name must be accepted for registration. So here, from here, it is the same way how you will actually convert a public company to a private company, or a private company to a public company, or how you form a company. The same way we actually go with. So procedure for re-registration. Now what happens is, you are supposed to see, already registration is done. Now you are supposed to go for re-registration, that is from unlimited liability to limited liability, and that to limited liability with private limited guaranteed company. So when you go with the limited guaranteed, now here what is the first one is, now procedure for re-registration. Now you are supposed to go for re-registration. What is a re-registration? Has been elaborated upon in the section 32 subsection 2, and it is provided therein that registration is to be in the same manner and shall have the same effect as if it were the first registration of the company under the act. That means, however you go for a re-registration, you are supposed to follow the same methodology of registering a fresh company, right? So your section 32 subsection 2 will actually give you a elaborated way of how to register all the companies. The registrar, now here is this person who plays a major role, that is the registrar. The registrar has to discretion at the time of re-registration to dispense with the delivery to him of copies of any documents, the copies of which had already been furnished on the occasion of the original registration of the company. Now he should get those documents where earlier itself you have gone for registration. No? All those documents, this registrar will again ask for it. You are supposed to submit the same, and then he will check all the clauses and whatever it is, and later he will check the new registration process. Again he will match up with all the same kind of a thing. Then if he feels that he needs some clarity, then again you are supposed to show the clarity documents, and then he'll go for a scrutiny of all the documents and understand why is that you are going from unlimited to limited, and why you didn't take the initial. Now he'll be asking few questions and you are supposed to be answerable to all. After that, what happens is, however, it must be noted that it is the only when the documents required to be filled for registration are verbatim. Now please understand the word verbatim. Now the word verbatim, V-E-R-B-A-T-I-M, verbatim. Now it's a word which says that each and every word, whatever used to happen before, should be the same thing. That means what? Not even a single word, not even a single alphabet should change when you go for re-registration. So whatever it was the copy before, you are supposed to submit the same thing of the documents already in the registrar possessions. Can the registrar dispense with the requirement of filling fresh documents? Pursuant to the re-registration, the registrar is required to close the former registration of the company. Now what happens is, after giving all the documents, and that too the documents whatever you give should be required to be filled for registration are verbatim copies. Verbatim copies in the sense all same words you are supposed to go with. And then he will actually check, and now what he does is, the re-registration, the registrar is required to close. Now he closes the earlier registration copy, and then he'll open the fresh copy. That is how the procedure of re-registration happens. So very simple it is. I'll tell you in a nutshell, that is how exactly happens. Unlimited liability you would have registered. Now after registration, what will happen is, now you thought that let me make it as a private company, and that too in a limited by guarantee. Now when you go for it, you ask whatever the documents you have already submitted to the registrar while you went for unlimited liability, now you are supposed to show it to the same to the registrar office. Now the registrar will check both the articles, what you had done before and what is that you are doing now. He'll scrutinize all those things, and then what happens is, whatever you are going with it, you should give more documents to the registrar for his better clarity and understanding. And if you want to change the name of your company afterwards, you can change it. If not, what happens is, the last word, the limited, will be changed, and then he'll get to know about it. Later he'll actually check everything, and now he'll squash or he'll actually cancel the first earlier unlimited liability company, and he'll actually squash that and he'll go for the new one. These are the procedure which happens in the registrar office. So if you have any doubt regarding this, please do call us. We are there to correct it. Now we'll go with the procedure for re-registration in the next one. That is, though the section is silent, please understand the section when we go with it is the section 32 subsection 2. On this aspect, it has been suggested that the re-registration must be authorized by a special resolution. There will be a special resolution of a general meeting setting out of a company's share capital and making the necessary alteration to its memorandum and article of association. That means here you need to understand whatever is done by the registrar, and later what happens is you are supposed to alter in the memorandum of association and the article of association. You are supposed to have a meeting. The conversion is then effected. Now the conversion is being effected by the company filing. Now the company will file all those documents, and then the copies of which will actually be given to the other people. Now it's altered memorandum and the article with the registrar, who issues a new certificate of incorporation. Now after all those, now the registrar will give you a new copies of article and memorandum signed. The new certificate is the conclusion evidence of the effectiveness of the conversion. The minute he gives the seal and signature, now that means what? Now you have re-registered your company. Now the unlimited liability company becomes limited liability, but that too limited by guarantees, right? So this is what the conversion happens, and that is how we can actually convert the companies. Any doubt regarding this, please do call us. We're always there to help you. Thank you so much. I'll see you when I see you.